Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bold Brave Woman Conversation with May and my guest. Today, I have a very special young woman who has been through so much. When I hear her list of things that she had lived through, my head just blows, and I'm like, oh my God, how do you survive such things in your life? And how do you keep going? And and I had so many questions for her. So I said, would you come on to Bold Brave Woman and talk about your life story and share what you've been through? Because some of the stuff that that I put in the description, you've been through living with a mom who was a drug addict that abandoned you at a young age and then went to jail and being
Prison.
raped, and then your sister was gruesomely murdered and you made the
Hmm.
newspaper, and oh my God, it's just so Lexi,
Yeah.
welcome to a Bold Brave Woman conversation. And you have been such a bold and brave young girl and teenager and young woman, and now a full grown mom and everything. So come in and tell us, what's it like to be Lexi?
Um, well, to me, humor is one of the best medicines, and I have a pretty foul sense of humor that keeps me going every day, as well as my child.
That's good.
And then, wonderful boyfriend. I'm in college. So I'm doing a few things to just continue going and moving forward.
Awesome. So you have a relationship that is working out well for you. You have,
Very healthy, yes.
oh man, that's some serious stuff. Just so you know, Miss Dala Chris, I can never say her last name right. She's
Chris
here and
Sally.
she just said hi to you. Bless you. Hi, Dala. Thanks for watching and supporting us,
Hey,
cheering us
Darla.
along. Yes.
I actually grew up with her.
Oh my God, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And Darla herself has been on this show and she's talked about her journey of how
Yeah.
she had the mental health breakdown and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So where do we begin? Oh my gosh. Um, I don't even know where to begin. Where should we begin, Lexi? What do you want to, which part of your life would you like to zero in on and share a bit of that?
Um, Honestly, from the things I've told you, from your personal experience, what story do you think would help people the best?
Well, let's see. You talk about, well, let's go to the big one first, right? You talk
Okay.
about what happened to your sister and how did you survive that?
So, my grandfather, my papa, he had actually passed away on December 21st.
Mm,
Um, the same year my sister disappeared. Same
mm.
week, actually. I was looking on Facebook, making posts about my grandpa and going through the scroll feed and saw my sister was missing.
Wow. So you
None
found
of
out
the,
through social media that your sister is missing.
yes.
Wow. And
Um,
while your grandfather, who is most important to you, passed away.
And so my grandfather was on my dad's side. My sister and we have different dads, but the same mom. And so the rest of the family on my mom's side, they're the ones posting this stuff. And because they knew about my grandpa, they didn't want to tell me immediately. They didn't,
Mm,
they thought she was off partying. But the second I saw that,
mm.
my stomach sunk. My probably just sunk into my stomach. And I knew we were going to be finding her body from
Oh
that day.
gosh. Mm. How did you
And
know that?
I don't know. I think it's just very, very strong sibling bond. Her and I were the closest.
Mm.
Um, we didn't grow up together, which, because she was raised with her dad's side as well as my other two siblings. All three of them have the same dad, and I had a different one. So, on the
Yeah.
other side of the family. um,
It's a
and
large
honestly, like,
extended family.
yeah,
Yeah.
like huge.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like, when I saw that and I knew immediately. So I pretty well dropped everything. I wasn't even able to grieve for my papa because all I could focus on was trying to find my sister. I was trying to keep hope that we'd find her alive, though I gutfully knew different.
Yeah.
Um, the crowd she was with was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into the one who actually murdered her, his brother's home, asking questions.
Wow.
I went to several places I shouldn't have been. Um, I talked to a ton of people. I wouldn't stop. I couldn't eat hardly. By the day they found her body, I ended up getting locked up and they weighed me and I was weighing 96 pounds.
Mm.
I'm 5'5". I shouldn't have weighed that little,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
wasn't from drugs. It was purely from stress.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, it's like, our family went through a lot. When I got
No
the phone,
shit. It's like,
so when like all these horror stories I was hearing, I mean, people were all, she's been chopped up, she's been this, she's been that, you're gonna da 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 da, and it's like, whoa, how do I even sort through all this information?
mm,
And like I was actually very in close contact with the DA, and it's like, so with that, or not the DA, the investigator.
yeah.
Um, so with that being said, it's like, all I cared about was trying to find my sister, and that's why we're in such close communication. I mean, who wouldn't be? And so I gave him as much information as I could. And then when I got that phone call, it was the worst flipping day of my life. I wasn't drinking throughout the several months that she had been missing, and my grandfather passing and all of that. And alcohol is a big thing for me. Um, I was just smoking weed. So just, I knew that I had to have my mind about me to deal with all of it.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so then I did end up drinking the night they found her, and
Mm.
I was actively on probation for initially assaulting a peace officer.
Why? Well, you just didn't know what to do with all that stress.
No, this was way before. I had been on probation for quite a while.
Yeah.
I was just young and dumb. I'm like, hey, maybe I won't get arrested. I'll fight him.
No.
So,
I don't
anyways,
think you were young and dumb. I think you just were not cared for properly. And so you didn't know what you were doing.
I really was, though. My great grandmother, as well as her son, my papa, my grandfather. So I was raised by all my greats. I had everything I needed and was blessed with what I
Mm.
needed.
Yeah.
They gave me everything where my parents were absent in. So
Yeah.
I actually had a very fortunate upbringing.
Mm. So then what happened? What was the phone call
Um,
like and what did it say? And then how did you survive from that?
I think it was my uncle that called me,
Mm.
and I was alone at Fashion Runway, actually. And I fell in the middle of the floor when I found out.
And what did you find out?
They found her body.
Oh.
And the whole entire time, this was being ran all over NBC, Fox, Nancy Grace. Basically, you think of it,
Yeah.
she was probably featured on it.
National news.
Yes,
Not the
everywhere.
kind of national news that we want to be on.
Not really, no.
No.
And this went on for probably like 4 or 5 years, just
Wow.
always coming through the media. She's only missing for a couple months, but because there was sentencing for the men that murdered her, they were never sentenced for murder. They got desecration of the body because they ruled a hot shot as an overdose.
I got confused there. What? So,
They gave her a hot shot, intentionally trying to kill her,
okay.
and they ruled it as an overdose. But yet,
Oh.
this happened in Utah, and they chopped her body up in the tub there.
Mm.
And they put her in a suitcase. And on Christmas Day, they took whatever car they were in and brought it out to Cactus Park. And they actually got stuck out there because you need 4-wheel drive and it was a car.
Mm.
No one had any idea and found her months later.
I feel like vomiting. Like now I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
why this conversation took so long to schedule and get it here, because it's such a hard thing to talk about and to witness and to hear, even though this is
Yeah.
years later. It's like, how do you live with this, honey?
I'm actually in college right now. My goal is to open up a children's rehab / safe home.
Mm.
It's going to be called Kelly's Home.
Oh,
Because I feel like if there was something like that out for her when she was alive, I mean, she was only 18,
yeah.
you know, maybe it would have saved her. There's no guarantees, you know.
No, but
If
yeah,
one life is saved, it was worth it.
yeah, yeah.
And so that's my huge aspiration and goal. And I also want to get into motivational speaking as well. Because in my opinion, like letting her death be in vain, that's not an option.
Yeah. Oh, you're so bold and brave. Ah, okay. So I want to just like highlight that. It's like this is very exciting and such an honor for me to actually host this conversation for you, because it's the first one, right? That you're
It
learning
is
this.
number one.
Yeah, yeah, that you're learning to talk about your experience.
Like I'm pretty sure I have swamp
Being on
ass going
camera.
on right now and all kinds of sweat because I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
You're great. You're so beautiful and precious and so brave. Look at you. And you're just so much like radiating. I didn't and your fan base is like, we love you. Terry saying she loves you, and Donna saying we love
Aw.
you. It's so great. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching and cheering Alexis on, and bless her heart. Oh my God. So really, I mean,
Thank
like
you.
I keep going back to that question, how do you keep going? So what I hear is you have to make meaning out of it, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
have some kind of focus, like to make a difference from this death, so that it has to
Oh
make
yeah.
sense for you.
And honestly, one of the things that actually saved my life, because I started my 2-year sentence the day they found her. I wasn't even allowed out of jail while waiting to go to the halfway house or any of that for her funeral, nothing. But I think it saved my life. I did 19 months on a 2-year sentence between jail, the halfway house, and prison.
And so how did that save your life?
Because I wasn't out there to go do some horrible things to some people that probably deserved it, maybe didn't.
I see. So
You know,
you were locked up yourself, so you couldn't go out and flung your anger and try to revenge or do something nutty and
exactly. And honestly,
oh,
that time in my life, it was possible. Now there's no way. You know, I'm
yeah,
not that same person anymore.
yeah,
But it genuinely saved my life. I mean,
yeah,
I look back and I like, as weird as it is, like, yeah, it sucks going through some of the stuff I've been through, but I'm grateful for all of it because this is what's going to help me change others' lives.
yeah. And now when you speak, you have credibility to all these people who
Yeah.
get themselves in trouble at a young age, do stupid things, or
Yeah.
whatever. And so let's take the attention off of your sister's death for a moment and come back to you. Like when you said you were locked up and in a halfway house, and you say that like it's nothing, like it's
It
like that's just
wasn't.
part. Yeah, right. So what's that like? Oh my God, how did you end up there, and what the fuck happened there?
Well, from fighting police officers, they don't take lightly on that. I already have a previous record. I've probably done altogether like 4 years behind bars. It's just my longest sentence was the 19 months on a 2-year sentence.
Yeah.
Or the time I did. And so
And
I don't know,
what
just
was
whatever.
prison like for you?
Oh, so much better than jail.
Wow, there's a
Honestly.
silver lining. Guess what? Prison is so much better than jail.
Well,
How
I
so?
mean, I was able to order like full box of cream pies every day, or not every day, but every week. So I'd fill up on all the sweets and snacks. I got out kind of chubby. I mean, I've never actually been chubby, but for me, I
Yeah.
looked chubby.
But seriously, I mean, like, I hear a prison and I shudder and I just kind of like completely lose myself. How did you, what was it like to be locked up and
Um,
to survive in there and
well,
then to get out? And then what happened when you get out?
I don't know,
I have an
honestly.
endless list of questions.
So the only way to do your time, in my opinion, the right way is you do your own time. You don't go in there to do other people's time. So
What does
stay out of
that mean?
fights. You stay out of fights. Stay out of the bullshit drama. Don't involve yourself. If you meet a
Mm,
couple cool people, which I personally did, I'm actually
yeah,
still friends with a couple of them.
yeah.
But you just keep to yourself, mind your own damn business. Because honestly, if you don't have a life sentence, then why make that your
Into
life?
one. Yeah. Mm.
Exactly. So,
Wow. Here's some wise words from it. Like if you get caught into prison, keep it to yourself. Don't take on other people's sentences and don't make it into a life sentence for yourself.
yeah, exactly. Also, like, just eat as much as you flipping can and get out fat.
Why? Why is
Why
that?
not? Why not? Honestly, one of the things to do in there if you're really bored is you just sit there and eat.
Oh,
I mean, there
baby.
were there were girls making hooch. There were other girls doing drugs or snorting their prescription pills and doing all this, and I'm good.
Yeah. How did you stay away from trouble? Because I don't
Well,
know. The only thing I know about these things is through what I've seen on Orange is the New Black. So
so I did fuck up once when I first got there. I let one of my roommates think it was a great idea to cheek my meds. And I actually thought, so when you say cheek your meds, it sounds like you're just sticking them in your cheek. They actually hold them back in their throat. Right? I had no idea. Didn't do that. Put it in my cheek and went to the hole for 4 days within the first couple weeks that I was there.
and then what happened?
I got out to what's called Unit 5. So, like, 20 or 22 hour, I think it was 22-hour lockdown I did that about 3-4 months that I was in prison, and then they moved me up to a lesser unit, and then the reentry unit. I didn't do long, like, at
Good.
all.
Yeah.
I did about 8 months in the halfway house, and that was a living hell. I had lost my sister and my papa, and then about a month after my sister was found, one of my best friends OD'd, and then shortly after that, I was still in the halfway house. My aunt passed away from cancer, and I couldn't go say bye, and it was one thing after the next. And they weren't giving me counseling. They told me, we have you on a waiting list. All these girls that were like, I understand relationship problems can really take their toll, but when someone's going through that multitude of deaths, get them
Yeah.
some fucking help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they had all these other girls that, like, no more or less deserving, but some situations are a little more escalated. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was on the verge of suicide in there. I was
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah.
And I did that for about 8 months. And I said, you know what? Fuck this.
Mm.
They were giving me all kinds of write-ups because they let their doctor completely fuck me off on meds. I mean, bad. And I let
So,
it happen because I was in such a bad mental state. I just wanted to be numb. But there were times where like I would pass out just sitting down after eating and having plenty of fluids. So I don't know exactly what was going on, but they would give me write-ups and stuff for not waking up on time for my meds, getting in a fight once when her and I were actually fine, So they sent me to jail and then they came to me. They were like, why do you want to come back? And what makes you think we should let you back in the halfway house? And this is what I told them. I was like, I'm not going back there. I was like, you're all worthless down there. None of you have helped me a goddamn bit. And I was like, send me to prison because I'd rather get out to my family sooner and deal with it that way.
wow, honey.
So,
Oh, I feel like such a like so completely ignorant of the experience of jail and prisons and halfway houses and everything, and hearing you pop it off like all these lingo and everything as if like it's just everyday language. I'm going, oh.
well, if there's anything you need me to clarify, just stop me and ask me.
I'm still working on the cheeky thing. No, I'm just kidding. It's Adala said that she was in the hole for a month and it was hell. And there's Sandy Pennington who said hi to you and sending you love.
Hello.
Hi, Sandy.
Yes, it totally is hell, Darla.
Yes, it is. Oh. So now that you're out and you're stable and
It's been quite some time, actually.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
How many years have been out and like rebuilding?
Shit, I think I killed my number, which means I completed parole. 3,
yes, thank you
4
for that
years
translation
ago.
of that slang. I kill my number. I'm like,
so what that means is when you get a prison sentence, you're a felon and everything, they give you a number. And if you ever go back, you get that same number. When you go through jail, it's a new booking number every single time.
Okay. So that number follows you.
Yes. If I ever go back to prison, I will forever have that number.
Which you're not going to.
No. Not for a long time. Not ever.
Yes, Donna said, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you too. I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening are so proud of you. And so how do you deal with survivor guilt? How do you deal with being a mom? How do you prevent, or what's it like being a mom now, having gone through everything that you've gone through?
I'm very protective. I'm very strict on them because even though I was raised with everything that any child should ever have and need, I didn't get discipline, at all. So I do timeouts and stuff like that. He's almost 3, so but I'm strict because I don't want him to end up like I did. I also, like my great grandmother was raising me since I was 1 because neither of my parents could get their shit together. My mom died when I was almost 9 years old, but she wasn't ever around, like she was an egg donor for sure.
Yeah.
I know it's terrible to say it like that. She wasn't a bad person, but as far as a parent goes, she was an egg donor.
Yeah.
And so with that, it's like I didn't get disciplined. And I made a lot of mistakes. And I feel like, like some things kind of coincide with each other. It's not my grandma's fault. I'm the one that did dumb shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I knew the consequences. It's just I lived a lot of a crazy, crazy life and just didn't give a fuck for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, baby, you sound so level-headed and so grounded. I'm just blown away by how beautiful you are inside and out,
Well, thank
and what
you.
you took away from your childhood, and all the shit that happened. And oh,
I
I love
refuse to let
hearing.
my son go through it, you know?
Yeah, I see that.
And his dad, there's issues. He I actually am kind of different than a lot of um, children's mothers or baby mamas. I hate that term because I'm not one. I actually try to push my son on our or his dad as much as I possibly can because their relationship is more important than our issues.
Yeah. Oh, look at you go. I have to just interrupt us a little bit and say, Sandy wrote, I was in the hole for 90 days and got sober. You go,
That's
Sandy.
amazing.
Yes. It's like, feel free to comment, everyone, and share your story, and what you've lived through, because it's so bold and brave, and we all need to
Absolutely.
hear each other, see each other, and witness and love each other up for what you've been through and what you attempt to do, or what you're on track to do right now. It's so cool. It's like
Oh, I was taking a drink.
no worry. Okay, so so now what? Where are you going with your life?
Just trying to make it through keeping my son alive because every
Yeah.
parent knows that when their child is the age that mine is, they're constantly trying to kill themselves. So, so that's pretty much
Good.
where I'm at. Also, just trying to build a future with the boyfriend as well
Yeah.
as get through college. My goal is to graduate with a 3.5 GPA or higher, but with how much crap I've got going on, I feel like a 3.5 is okay with me.
That's a good goal. That's very solid,
Thank you. My
and it
GPA right
doesn't
now
matter
is
really what's the score. What matters is
no.
you get that piece of paper.
Oh, absolutely. Anyone that's gotten a 2.8 or a 4.0, like neither one is better than the other, you know?
Yeah.
It's
What
just that's my personal goal.
right. That's awesome. And then so what do you need to get to start making your dream happen of creating the rehab center?
So, I'm doing my business degree right now.
Hmm.
That way I have all the business smarts I need to try to open up a nonprofit organization.
All right.
So, I'm currently in the beginning steps of learning all those tools. And then I
So
feel like after oh, go ahead.
let's ask two big questions. So if other people want to help you, how can they help you?
Um, Ideas, um, getting the word out there. If they have any connections, introduce me, you
Hmm.
know?
And connecting
Uh,
to what?
uh, well, it's going to take a lot of funds. It's going to be a
Connection to
nonprofit
money?
organization.
Connection to grants?
Unfortunately, yes, but any kind of ways that I can achieve this to help children, which are our future. Because one
Absolutely.
day our country is going to be in the hands of all our unruly little rugrats we have running around right now.
I like you. We have so much in common, because that's how I call children. They're like those brain
Oh, that's
sucking brats that
yes, yes.
I love my child. I love children, but
Oh, you and I
they're
both
manipulative little brats.
oh my gosh, yes. Like my son is like, he'll come up and just be like, and say sorry. That's how he says sorry. And then go on to do what he just got in trouble for. As if like, hey, I just told you sorry. It's okay now.
They're so stinking smart, and they'll push
They
every
are.
line that you have.
Oh gosh, yes. It's like some days are more trying than others, you
Yes.
know? Yesterday happened to be one of them for me personally. He had a case of not going to listen to shit whatsoever all day. But he's not always like that, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's see. And one last question is, so what message do you have for people, for young adults who has a similar background as you did?
When you're feeling low, reach out.
Mm.
Whether it's to a friend or a family member, a stranger, a doctor. There's been times where I've had to, and I don't like taking medications, but there's been times where I've had to get myself put on them.
Mm.
And it's
And what
like
do you get them
sometimes
put
just
on for?
manic bipolar, anxiety, PTSD,
Mhm.
nightmares, and
These
severe
are just a few
depression.
things that you live with.
Yeah, just a few.
I know. And I'm like, honey, you look so normal. And it's like, I live with anxiety, PTSD, night terror. I live with depression. It's like, ah, a functioning. I actually the my my core my core reason why I'm doing this show called Brave Woman is I wanted to just talk to women, ordinary women who look like you and me, who,
Yeah,
slap on sweats, run to the store and hair unmade and all this stuff.
pretty
And yet
much.
we each live such a bold and brave journey. Just to
Oh,
sometimes being bold and
yes.
brave means getting out of bed when you're in the most depressive state and you can't function right. Right.
Oh, absolutely. It's like there's so many people, like you walk by someone and you have no idea of their story. They could have just lost their baby a couple days ago. You
Yeah.
know, you don't know their story. So it's like, I think we all have our days where we don't mean to be an asshole to people, but it just happens. And we're all allowed to have those once in a while, as long as you
Oh,
make up
wait.
for it and treat
Here's
people
another
right.
advice is don't beat up on the cops. That's not a good idea. It never ends well. How's that?
I mean, next time I'm going to tell him to take his badge off. No, I'm just kidding.
Alexis, you still have so much fight in you. It's like, no, baby, don't go back in that hole. No.
Well, I mean, if there's no badge, they're not technically on duty, right?
No. No. Okay, that's my advice to everyone. Do not pick a fight with a cop. Please don't end up in jail.
Yeah, it wasn't the wisest thing, but I'd rather crack jokes than be like.
Yeah, I know.
And
I
actually,
love you.
I heard from a few cops like that I actually am friends with later on that knew the one that I headbutt.
Yeah.
Um, they said he was an asshole, and so it was actually karma.
Oh, no. Well, I look forward to being, on the periphery or even closer in your life so that I can continue to support you and see you to creating the center for young people who really need the support and love and a safe place for them to be in. It's such a big dream and it's such a necessary dream.
I would love that.
Yeah.
We'll have
Thank
to
you so
stay
much, honey,
close.
for coming on today
Well,
and
of
sharing.
course.
See, it wasn't so bad after all, huh?
No, I mean, like I'm still like.
Well, if you think of other things that you have lived through that you would like to share, that could, I'm sure you now that you've done this, you're like, oh wait, I could talk about that and that and that and that. Come back, and then we can create more deeper conversation and really go into something so that other people, either they're going through it themselves, could find support, or they're part of the family of that person who's going through that heroic journey to
Okay.
understand what's it like to to do what we do and get in the trouble that we get into, whether it's our fault or not, or circumstance or whatever, right?
That
It's
is
such
true.
a
I've done all
huge
that.
thing. Yeah. So much experience. We have to like milk it out of Lexi so that we don't have other people don't have to go through that. All
Right?
right, honey.
Well, we will definitely have another session and we'll go into something else next time.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for being so brave. Come on your very first interview and sharing your story with me. Thank you,
Sounds
everyone, for
great.
watching and listening. If you love what I do, you can find me on Buy Me a Coffee at Mai Vu Coach. So you just type in my Mai Vu Coach and buy me a coffee, and you can support me with injecting my body with caffeine so that I can continue to keep doing things, bringing you these beautiful conversations. And subscribe and share. Would love that. And you can find me on Spotify, Bold Brave Woman, or on YouTube, the Bold Brave Woman channel. Looking
All
forward to
right.
talking with you next time. Take good care,
You
everyone.
as
Have a
well.
wonderful day.
Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.